And it says that we are live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nima.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 317. We have a Julie, a Claire, a Sarah, and a Lynn saying hello to us.
Okay.
I know.
Hello.
It's always so fun. I love looking over there and seeing people chat away and whatever. It kind of feels like it's more than just us two friends, right?
Yep, for sure.
We're not just talking to ourselves.
Talking to each other.
Well, we're not just talking to each other. I included us in ourselves. Like
we're one person.
Yeah, we are the stockinette. Yeah.
Okay.
How's your week going?
Good so far. I mean, I was, it rained, which we needed, but at the same time, I was like, oh man, Monday was so beautiful. I was hoping that the rest of the week would be just the same. And yeah. And then my son missed the bus this morning, so I took him in. But I still managed to go to my workout late, so it's fine. And yeah, I don't know. I've decided that I want to knit my Farmer's Daughter Fibers top. There's only to the end of the month to get it done, and I haven't even started it yet. So I think I've decided that I'm going to make the spring swirl before the end of the month.
Drop the mic. So that's a knit along that they're doing?
Yeah, and it's been a long time, right? Like they announced it.
Okay. You didn't just have the month of May, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you had more time than yeah. And they've been reposting some people's things and they've been knitting all this time. But and it came with a coupon code. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy something with the coupon code and maybe I'll participate. And I don't know. I've been having cast on itis, right? I've been wanting to cast on all the things. Well, I finally ripped out that other top that I was making that was crochet and it's gone. Bye-bye. So I was thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and replace that right now and focus on that sweater and see if I can get it done before the KL ends.
Cool.
But again, I don't know. It might
There's
be
a lot of that going around. Susan is making that Nancho, and she's like, I'm gonna get it done. Like she's knit a pair of socks, and I'm not going. I mean, she just hasn't had any mojo, right? So I'm not gonna say how much, but it took her a while to knit a pair of socks, and then she's gonna take on this like garment thing by ZK. She's like, she's on it, right? And I'm like, go mojo, go!
Yeah, exactly, right. When you get that mojo back, you gotta
lean in.
Exactly. Don't just, cast on another pair of socks. Go for a poncho that's not a poncho.
Yeah. No, it's been busy. So I talked on the last VKN, but I'm taking on a new position in my job, and so I'm kind of doing the old job and starting to try to come up to speed on the new job. So there's a lot of overlap going on there. So my days are flying by. Like the proximity to June is not lost on me.
Right.
What? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and with having to get our schedule together and all that stuff, it's like, oh yeah, and then I have prizes arriving for our people that are coming to the retreat, and so yeah, I just got a big bag, like 9 different skeins of things, and I'm excited. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff coming, and a lot of it's good. I know that maybe I had more interest in past years, but we got a good number, I think.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome. Yeah, no, I know that the fiber arts, some people have really leaned into kind of online venues and online events and whatever, and that others may be really struggling to stay afloat. So it's always good to kind of season your expectations with that, right? Like, hey, if you can, you can, and if you can't, you can't, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah. No, definitely things are starting to arrive. So my package intake is like, ooh, excitement every day. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. No, that is exciting. We also have, just a shout out, this weekend we're doing for ZKN. So not through ZK, but ZKN. We're doing a May member spotlight. And we're going to be chatting with Laura, Mimi, and Randy, which is super
Okay.
exciting, to get to know a little bit more about them as crafters and makers. And super excited about that. Those are going to start on the hour. So don't freak out if you're Mimi, Laura, or Randy. Like, it could be 15 minutes, right? But we're just going to chat, and then there'll be a break, and then the next one will start on the next hour. So,
Okay.
and all of that will be in the email. No expectation that that'll be a full hour. Kind of like a mini breakout session type deal at the retreat, right? Like we would
Right.
just kind of had a schedule of events, and when they stopped, and you went up or got up and went for a walk or went to the bathroom or sat around and chatted until the next one spun up.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. I always love learning more about people.
Right. Yeah. No, I guess I want to put a plug out there. I guess if you want to, share your skills and knowledge with us in our breakout sessions at ZK, you can contact me. I'm making the schedule right now. So if you're like, oh yeah, I really wanted to do something and it just passed you by, contact me. Yeah, Megan.
I'm like, Tanisha Crochet. I said I was going to do something with Tanisha Crochet, and I didn't get the form filled out. So
and now you've said it.
I've said it aloud, and other people have heard it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to do something, and it doesn't have to be really formal. Again, it could just be a small session. You can set how many people can be in. So if you only want 10 people in, that's the amount we'll let in. And if you say, I can do a crowd, you can say, okay, sky's the limit, whatever the venue can hold, I will teach. Then you put that in. But again, let me know. Just send me a message, however you feel comfortable connecting with me. And then I'll try to get you slotted in there. I'm hoping to get the schedule finalized this weekend, and so that we can send out some notes and get people signed up for those wonderful classes and
yes, absolutely,
get that excitement going.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to be a traditional class, right?
Right.
So you could just lead like a discussion if you wanted, or maybe have people bring something, or a meetup or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, a meetup sounds like, that's a good example, right? Like, oh, I know a lot of us knit this one thing over this past year, and I'd really like to have a name
or
the
I
pattern.
love craft beer, or people enjoy coffee. Let's get together and chat about coffee.
Yes, we did have people swapping coffee and craft beers, and if you put it in as an official class, then people would do signups for what they would be bringing, and it would be good. So lots of great ideas, and again, I'm trying to finalize that by the end of this weekend, and then so that I can get my act together and get that sent out before June.
Excellent. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so I was preparing myself to mute because I'm a loud sneezer, but okay. I think I'm okay. You want to talk finished objects?
Yes. So I have 4.
Woo-hoo. Go, Amy. Go, Amy.
I knit my pickle yarn.
Ooh.
This is a super bulky, 180 yards in the skein into a winsome.
Make my green loving heart go pitter pat.
Yeah, it's just a big chunky shawl, and I imagine that if you had one of those, cool cuffs, that's how I would wear it. Might be a little warm for today's or this week's temperatures. But very, very fun and quick knit. I believe the pattern has you using 17s, and I only had up to 15s. So I did it on 15s.
Was yours my Addie set, I think, goes up to 15. Is that what you were at, or?
Actually, I used some really old Denise that I had hanging about. So yeah.
That makes sense.
But there's that.
So pretty, so pretty.
And then, not in a particular order, but I'm going to go with shawl order here. Make sure I'm holding up the right direction. I finished the mystery knit along for Romy.
Mm-hmm. And the beav along, right?
Yes, this is the beaver along. Oh, you're right. I might have to undo my moratorium on posting to my grid because I need to share this with those KALs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so pretty. So
yeah,
pretty.
It's gorgeous. And
everybody's is so pretty that that shared this past weekend too. I really enjoyed seeing all of those.
Yes,
There was quite a few similar color schemes, right? So like something with kind of like a nude colorway, like a bare yarn colorway at the edging, and then that brown and pink. I think you and Julia had something similar.
I think Julia, was very similar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, so stunning. I love how it opened up with the blocking. It's really nice.
Yes, I mean I had to put 5 things down, so that was 10 foot of shawl.
When you put it that way, that's like a little less than half, or a little less than me doubled, right?
Like, right. Yeah, and it went all the way to the edges with the, just the way I pinned it. Some people pinned it into a crescent, and I just pinned it straight line. So so pretty. I went ahead and flew by on my cardamom because I was interested in doing some stranded work.
Pretty.
So this is cardamom coffee pattern, and Gems Lux, who's going to be at the retreat. They're out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. So wow, it's going to be fun. And this was again
have a pom-pom?
It had a faux fur pom-pom in the pattern picture.
Are you gonna palm it? To palm or not to palm? That is the question.
Yeah, I just finished it last night, so I don't really know. Maybe I'll wear it and take a look and see. It does look really cute with the faux fur. It's like a black faux fur palm on top in the photo or rendering. So I think pretty. I'm not even sure.
So that's unblocked. Look at those stitches, how even they are unblocked. Yeah.
And then I did finish my Farmer's Daughter's Fiber March.
The green.
So
and months.
Yep. It was worsted weight, or no, sport weight. I mean, it was listed as a fingering, but I knit it in a sport weight gauge.
It was really,
beefy. And then I had a short cuff, and it still took me this long.
And that was the kind of serpentine, or super serpentine, right? No rest rows.
The no rest rows serpentine.
So pretty.
But that is my 4 that are fit to be talked about.
Fit to be shared. To be squared. Do, 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 do. All right. So I also have my Farmer's Daughter's Fiber. This was not March, but April. So I haven't gotten my May on the needles quite yet. So this is their really pretty kind of, I know it's got a more brown pink, I guess. And then it's kind of got light and dark sections. So I took Mary Kino Knits free knitty pattern Stellan. I believe it's Stellen. It's got these really cool little faux cables with a little lace in the middle of it. And I converted them to be toe up. So it was written cuff down. I converted it to be toe up. And then, of course, threw in my favorite spacious OMG heel because I could figure out most easily how to add the motif on the back of the heel that way. So, and then didn't have to worry about adding any gusset stitches and whatnot. But I think I finished these pretty close to the last time that we podcasted. So they've just been sitting on my table going, where me? And I'm, no, I have to remember to talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah, I have my pile of Farmer's Daughter's fiber.
Yeah,
that I haven't touched
this fiber, and I'm not remembering the mill because this is the farm to needle, is very springy.
Oh, okay.
So again, when you see this on my foot, it's going to look a lot lacier than it does here, because it is very like, it's not a Cormo blend. It was just a normal whatever, but the way that it's spun, I feel like it has a lot of bounce and memory to it, I guess.
Okay.
So
fun.
Yeah, there's those. And then the last time that we podcasted, I skipped this because we were running out of time, but this is my night book. This is Blue Moon by Mitchell's Creations. And then the camera doesn't want to show you all the speckles part is Princess Bean from Lola Bean Yarn Co. This is an all over color work. So only the hem, the neckline, some short rows for the neckline, and then the full twisted ribbing.
Both
ribbing.
sides.
Yeah, both sides. So it looks twisted on both sides, which I've determined is the slowest possible thing that I can do with a needle in my hand. Other than scroll Instagram while holding my needle. That is the slowest possible stitch for me.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely love it. It was very entertaining. You know, there's obviously this motif in the front, and then you kind of just continued on in what I kind of think of as like a fish scale on the back. But yeah, it was so much fun. You know, like you're talking about your hat. It was like, I can't put this down. It's so much fun. I knit it with a lot of positive ease, and it obviously has a lot of positive ease in the armhole. So when I put it on, you know, the armhole isn't really near my armhole. It's a little lower down.
You have armholes?
Armpit. Where my arm meets my body. Sorry. I was like, do I have armholes? It took me a second. That was a complete blonde moment. Do I have armholes? I don't think I do. We broke the Amy. But yes, I super duper love it. So glad that somebody posted in our enabling threads that it was on sale, because it was like, yes, I must. And this has cured me of my my concern about combining, you know, speckled yarns with a solid in color work, because in general that has not worked out for me. So I'm like, okay, I just got to make sure that there's a ton of contrast in the color that is not only, you know, the main color that got speckled on top of, but also the speckles, right? Because there are a few places where there are blue speckles, but yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. But your brain, this motif is small enough, your brain knows that this is supposed to be a straight line, right? So
fills it in.
It fills it in. Your brain fills it. I feel like you get kind of like the camera's getting like some of those dizzy lines too when I hold it up. Sorry, not trying to give anybody a migraine.
Yeah, and it like changes the color.
Yeah,
every time. So it's like,
I'll stop. I promise.
Jaundice here.
Yeah. Stop holding it up, Megan. It's beautiful, but stop. Yeah. So that was fun, and I'm glad that I could give it the time that it deserved to chat about on the podcast, and we could determine that I did not have armholes. And then I just recently finished my Romy's mystery shawl. This is the backside. So this is with Grinning Gargoyle. I'm blanking on the name. And again, this green is not this green, but this is what it looks like unblocked. So this is what Amy was holding up on Saturday, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. But gosh, what you just showed, it was such a dramatic transformation. I too really enjoyed, somebody mentioned this weekend, the bind off with the kind of extra little emphasis on where you would block that point, right? There's a little kind of almost a yarn over in the, or more spacious spot in the bind off. So that was very cool. And super love all of the dramatic transitions that everybody had between the two colors, right? So I think she really guided us well in our chat with her about, oh, well, that might not have enough contrast. So, and I don't know that mine will get to 2 times me. I mean, it's feeling like maybe my arm span. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Once I put it in the water and got it blocked, it was.
Yeah. So this is yak, and I've had some experiences with yak recently where, because at its base, at its core, it's darker when it starts off. I was a little concerned about the two colors having enough contrast, but
yeah,
well, with
totally
this camera lighting, it definitely does. In real life, it's a little more subtle. Yeah, I'll get some photos of that blocked. It's not a beaver long, so.
Well, I don't even know how long the beaver-long's going, to be all honest, but it is done, and I was like, oh yeah, that might be a good reason to post to my grid.
Oh, I forgot to grab my nest of ends, but I did finish my next. Ooh. So my last blanket made it to my brother for his husband for their housewarming, along with a ninja foodie, which I've heard a lot more about because they're sending me photos of things that they've cooked with it. But I joked my mom is obviously a crafter, or a crafter at heart, because she has said in our little family text chain, it would be really nice to see that blanket on the back of your couch. She wants them to send, the obligatory, she sews socks for people and pants for people, and she really enjoys getting the photos of, like, I'm wearing them, right?
Yep. They're being used.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, yesterday, I think I counted 15 squares wide, 28 long, so 30 and 56, around 90 ends that I needed to weave in that I hadn't done at all.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is all with Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy, which is their BFL base. It's pretty wide, right? And it will stretch wider
nice.
when I actually block it. So this one's a block away, and super long, right? Like if I have it up to here, it can also cover my feet. So this is the biggest one that I've made thus far. I used a bigger hook because I was enjoying kind of the less. I mean, it's not a weighted blanket, but it's a very heavy blanket. A lot of the blankets, like the Vivid that you made with Dancing Duck Dye Works, and like my Radvent throw with that lace, they're heavy, but they're kind of, lacier, so it's not as, and Tunisian crochet is very dense.
Yes.
So I went up a hook size, and I really liked how that looked, but it meant that I was using more grams per square.
Gotcha.
Which makes sense because it's, spread out more. But yeah, you can see where I like having all 4 corners. I'll talk a little bit about it. I won't bore you too much, but I like having all 4 corners be the pink, or the main color, kind of where you start is where you end. So it's symmetrical in that way. And then it transitions in the middle to going the opposite direction. And then it does it again, and then it goes back down. So yeah, I was just having fun kind of painting with colors. And then also I got to engage a spreadsheet to make sure that once I understood how many squares I was getting per gram, that I would have enough yardage. I did have an extra ball of pink that I ordered because I knew that that first color, if I was going to, it was going to have more squares than the rest. And I think, as I mentioned in our work in progress one, I did not plan well on my second color. I ended up having to sub in a similar color for 2 of the rows.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's a great blanket. I am looking forward to shipping this one off too. And I don't know if I'm cured quite yet of this this obsession, but it's, yeah, it is. I definitely get stuck on repeat.
Now
I
you
think
just need to do the scrappy one where you'll have
Mhm.
you'll more playing with color, like you were saying before, like small
Mhm.
squares that you might incorporate into. Yeah.
Yep. And so, yeah, it's obviously not blocked and is still very much rolling, but I know that that is not an issue from my past ones where the edge stays on or stays down nice. So, and then I think I had 4 as well.
Okay.
Seems like a good number.
Yeah. Yeah. Not too bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I was using our tiny little flip notebook. I don't have it here, but like the red one that we gave one year
for the birthday
to write
kits.
down all of my whips that I had, that were, I don't want to say, that weren't blankets or scrap blankets or whatever. They were just
long-term whips.
Yeah, none of the long-term whips were counted, and I had 5 written down, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool to have 5 right now. Hopefully I'm not like, there's not one hiding and is ready to jump out at me at some point, but I was like, oh, to only have 5 is pretty small for me.
And like not to have purposely done that, right? Because sometimes you get really low, but you're like super focused on it.
Yeah, this was not super focused.
It snuck up on you.
Yeah,
the low number of whips.
It did, which was very surprising. So it was good to use that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, beautiful projects, Amy. It's always fun to see what you've created, and it's also kind of fun to store them up, right? Like I was reflecting on, we used to kind of have that in every single one, and the whips in every single one, right? And it's nice to just kind of have like a FO episode, right?
Yeah, like celebration touchdown dance,
in
zone dance. That's
things.
What I meant.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess it creates more of a retrospective for me anyway in my crafting, because it's not just the most recent one. It's kind of like, oh, this is what I've done recently.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Bye.
All righty.
I said bye.
I said it right over the top. Bye. Thanks for joining us.